uh, three speakers from three schools. Today we bring very interesting and an interesting topic for you, which is Buddha's nature or the nature of Buddha. So this discussion will discuss from three schools' perspective. So first of all, we will discuss from Theravada Buddhist perspective, and we invited our great guest speaker, Professor Dr. Benjuk Benaroji from Theravada Buddhist perspective. So when we say about Theravada, we can say that original Buddhist Dharma brought by the great teachers. And second, Mahayana Buddhist perspective, we invited Dr. Hussein from Mahayana perspective. From Mahayana perspective, in brief, we can say that this is great vehicle. And in the third, we invited our very good guest speaker, Phukpa Doji from Vajrayana perspective or Vajrayana school. So Vajrayana, this is, I think, the diamond vehicle. So the teachers brought Buddha's origin Dharma perspective and great vehicle perspective and diamond vehicle perspective we will discuss. So all of our students, I think this is great chance for you to pursue your more knowledge. So first of all, I would like to invite from our Theravada Buddhist perspective, Professor Dr. Benjuk Benarosi. You are welcome to take seat. Sure. Yes. Oh, yes. We have in the room also our guest speaker, Venerable Phukpa Doji as well. Yeah. Welcome, Manti. Yes. Vajrayana perspective. Mahayana we will have in online.
Oh, okay.
Yes, Ajahn.
Okay. Pay respect to the Pante, the director of the subject, and then our student. So pleased to be invited to come here to present idea about the Buddhist life. Buddha life. I don't know, but I have idea in my mind for a long time about the Buddha life. Why Theravada not focus on childhood, but Mahayana Vajrayana focus on childhood. This means in Buddhist scripture, Tipitaka, it is very hard to mention about the childhood of the Buddha. But if you study Vidya Pitaka, Vidya Pitaka start the life of the Buddha after enlightenment. I have this idea in my mind for a long time. But when I wrote a book on the Buddha life, I have to get the information from Mahayana Sutra, like Lalita Vistra, and many other Happiness Kramana Sutra. Okay, but I get few information from Theravada scripture. especially if Pitaka difficult to find. I don't know why, but however, I conclude that Theravada monk from the first council paid and never paid attention to the Buddha life of childhood. He focused on the Buddha life after enlightenment. Why? Because the Theravada monk held up the religious life, the life of monk, the life of the Buddha, but not focus on the life of the householder, the life of lay people. You see, that is the idea of Theravada monk concluded by me. And then I think why Mahayana pay attention to the Buddhahood of childhood. Why? I think so. Because I return to the books written by Theravada monk, Patthoma Sampoti. Patthoma Sampoti, some my teachers said it is based on Mahayana. Okay. And then Theravada monk translate and rewrote in Pali and then translate into Thai. Okay. Only the Theravada Patthoma Sampoti Katha mention and give the detail of the Buddha Dalai from Tusita heaven to be born in Kapilavastu, and then part of household life, and then the life after the life of going forth to attain enlightenment. I think that is the why don't mention. Okay, I try to take information from text from the starting from Tipitaka commentary and sub-commentary. In the Patipitaka, mention the life of the Buddha before in the Tusita heaven, before entering into the mother womb. Okay, that is no detail about the childhood life when he was prince. No detail. Okay, no information can be found in the Tipitaka. Only one Theravada Pitaka I found only one place. Oh, no, not only one place, some place, some or some sort. When it's mentioned the three palaces, and then give the name of three palaces in Khuddaka Nikaya, and then mention the Buddha, the life, the prince life when he before he's going forth, before he was going forth. This sentence here is very important. This sentence is very important in Tipitaka Majjhima Nikaya. Prince Siddhartha, the Buddha returned his life to the monk. When I was a prince, 29 years old, my hair is very black. My age very young. But at the time, I decided to go forth. When my mother, my father are crying, uh, crying with their face full of tears. Only one place, or only one thought mention mention about uh, about uh, prepare himself to go forth. From this sentence, I return to the book, to the text. Is this to the Mahayana Sutra? Lalita Vistara Mahapinesakamana Sutta. I got detail. I got details of childhood life of the Buddha. Okay. I present idea to someone in the field of Mahayana, Theravada Buddhism. He told me, "Oh, it's believable, because it authored by Mahayana. That's Mahayana scholar. But I believe, I am sure to, uh, I am sure that it can be quote in the uh, academic world of Buddhism. However, conclude the Buddha life of childhood is very important because it makes our understand common life, the life of the people, the life of layman. When the Buddha, when he was a young prince, he spent of life like a common people. Okay, but he had maybe he lived a luxurious life, but it depend on the social status of king. After collecting information, I found that Abhaikiri Visakha Bucha. Okay, according to as we know, Visakha Bucha started in Sri Lanka. Yeah. Okay, in Theravada Buddhism, in Theravada tradition, we believe Visakha Bucha started in Sri Lanka. At that time, the Buddhism have about 1,000 years. Who give birth? Who gave birth to the Visakha Bucha Day? Abhaikiri Vihan, a monk of Abhaikiri Vihan, gave birth to Visakha Bucha Day. And then who of Mahavihara, Abhaikiri Vihan gave birth? Mahayana monk. Mahayana monk came from India and offered this ritual to decorate the Buddha, and then asked the monk of Abhaikiri Vihan to hold Visakha Bucha Day for worshiping of the Buddha. Okay, Mahayana start with what? Start with the establishing of the Buddha at childhood. Very boy, the boy, in uphill, show his finger to the sky. Mahayana show this picture and used make idol of the Buddha, and then established in the temple, and then invite the people to come to pay respect and pour water on the hand. After that, this ritual very famous, popular. The king of Sri Lanka excited, were very excited, and then he came to join the ritual. That is why make Abhayagiri Vihan stronger. Okay, go along with the study Tipitaka, along with the study of Abhidhamma. So ceremony or ritual is very important to help Buddhism in Sri Lanka grow. And then I think after that, after birth, Mahayana Vihara, monk accept and practice Visakha Puja Day too. According to Buddhist history, Mahayana, at first Mahayana, they were accept, they were recognized Abhayagiri Vihan because he Mahayana monk, Mahavihara monk condemned the one monk called Tissa, who gave support to King Vivattakamaniappai to get back the crown, the king crown. Okay, the crown, because he want to because before that, King Sri Lanka, Abhayagiri Vivattakamaniappai was dethroned by Tamil kings, and then after that he spent about nearly 20 years to create army. Okay, and then he's got support from in the monk named Tissa. Venerable Tissa was the monk of Mahavihara, but he liked to live in the upcountry, and then he once he met with King Vivattakamaniappai, and then he know the matter and story of King Vivattakamaniappai, and then he was so very sad about his being dethroned. So he devoted himself to support collective people from a separate to make army for king. Okay. I would like I told this story. Why did I tell story here? Because I want you to know about the important and significant of the Buddha life. Because I think if we don't know, don't appreciate the Buddha life, our study not breathing. Okay. Because if you want to go deep in the Buddha, in the study, especially in Buddhism, you have to go see uh, the picture that the Buddha in your mind. You have to see the Buddha life in your mind. Anytime, whenever you think of the Buddha, you see him. You see him. When you heard the Buddha teaching, and when you heard the word Bhikkhu Sangha, the picture of the Buddha and Bhikkhu Sangha at the Buddha time should appear in your mind. Yeah, because this vision make you appreciate and have the strong the satisfaction to study the Buddha life, the Buddha teaching. Okay.
Yes, thank you very much, Professor Dr. Benjo Benarusi. We learned many things from you, and we have learned about our Buddha's life and Theravada side of view. The Vesak ceremony started from Sri Lanka, and about Mahavihara as well, and Venerable Tissa about him. So many things. Thank you very much for your distinguished speech. So next, I would like to invite from the Mahayana school perspective, we invited Venerable Huaishen. He also completed his PhD degree from this IBSC. So Venerable, you are welcome to discuss.
Good morning, everyone. So first of all, I would like to respond to Professor point on Buddha's life, and then later I'm going to expound my points on today's topic, that is about the nature of the Buddha. First of all, about the Buddha's life. As Professor just described, that description of the Buddha's life, especially his childhood, is quite significant. It really encourages us, Buddhists, to be more devoted, to be more pious. So this is something very meaningful. So on that, I would like to share some of the points from Mahayana perspective. So the reason why Mahayana emphasizes on the childhood of the Buddha, I think there are something more that need to be added to our professor's point. First of all, the Buddha chose to be reborn, chose to be born or reborn, because that has something to do with the Mahayana doctrine. But later I'm going to explain that. So the reason why Buddha chose to be reborn in the king's palace, to be reborn as the prince, basically has some significance. First one is that this rebirth gives people faith on the Dharma, to show people that no matter how much money you have, no matter how fame you enjoy, and whatever fame you enjoy, and whatever talents you have, eventually you have to abandon them. You have to pursue something higher. That is the supramundane pursuit, supramundane goal. That is to achieve nirvana. So this is the one significant point that this rebirth can give to us, because for Buddha, he could have lived a very good life according to a mundane standard. That means he could have claimed the throne of the and then lead his family, could have been able to lead his kingdom to be more prosperous because he was so talented. He was so talented, so he was able to do that. He could have done that, but he chose not to. So that means something that is much, much greater than the kingdom, than the power, than the money, than the fame that is worth pursuing. So that is the reason why Mahayana emphasizes on the childhood of the Buddha. This is one part. And another part is to tell people that in order to become a Buddha, you really need to have a lot of merit, or in another term, parami. In the Theravada term, that is parami. In Mahayana, we say merit or paramita. So, so that means this is the second point that it gives to the followers of the Mahayana. That means in order to become a Buddha, you have to accumulate a lot of merit, not only wisdom, not only mental transformation, but also you need to have this strong connection with other beings, especially with other people. So this is also something important in Mahayana because we emphasize not only on wisdom but also on compassion, which mainly embodies in the way that we are connected with other people and we help other people to awaken as well. So that is also the reason it emphasizes on the childhood of the Buddha, to show that the Buddha is not ordinary, was not born in an ordinary family, not like Jesus, born in a very low status family, but was born in a very high class family, that is the royal family. So this gives us this hint. In China, in Chinese community, in Chinese Buddhist community, we have the saying that in order to get enlightened in the sense of Mahayana enlightenment, if you want to achieve enlightenment, you need to have a lot of merit. There is a saying that at least you have got reborn as kings for 3 times in the past lives, and as the top of the scholars, as the leading scholars, like 7 times. So in Chinese we say 七世状元三世郎, which means 7 times of rebirth as a leading scholar, and 3 times as the king. So this is the reason why in Mahayana we need to emphasize the childhood of the Buddha to show that he's by no means ordinary. He's super supreme. So this is the 2 points. Let me conclude my point on these points of why Mahayana emphasizes on the childhood of the Buddha. Point 1 is to tell people that, to encourage people to pursue something more higher, that is the supramundane pursuit. The second point is to encourage people to gain as much merit as possible in order to prepare for the enlightenment in the Mahayana sense. All right. So let me talk. So this is so much for my response to Professor's talk. Now I'm going to extend my I'd like to shift my topic to the nature of the Buddha. Actually, it has also something to do with what I said. Just now I said that I mentioned that the Buddha was reborn, or the Buddha chose to get reborn in the royal family. So the word chose, this is something very interesting because in Mahayana perspective, we don't consider a bodhisattva to be ordinary being, or in Pali word, non-Arya. In Mahayana, we don't believe so. We think that before his rebirth in the kingdom, Kapilavastu, he was living in the Dusita heaven already as the eighth Bhumi Bodhisattva. Eighth Bhumi Bodhisattva is very, very advanced. Is the something like the prince that is going to take the throne, something like that. That means someone who is ready to become the next Buddha is called the 10th Bhumi Bodhisattva. So let me briefly talk about the Bhumis of Bodhisattvas in Mahayana. So in Mahayana, we have 10 Bhumis of Bodhisattvas. The first one is the lowest one, which is the one who has just got enlightened, who has just seen the Buddha nature. That means he has cut off from the ignorance a little bit, not all, but clear a little bit part of the ignorance. So he can be called the first Bhumi. And then little by little, so whenever he upgrades to the next level of Bhumi, then he will clear off some part of the ignorance, and until he got to the 10th Bhumi, then he's already almost all of the ignorance has already been cleared off. So he's ready to become the Buddha, that is the Samya Sambuddha. So that is the reason. In Mahayana perspective, the Tusita in the Tusita heaven, got up the Buddha to be has already got almost fully enlightened, and he came here to this earth, to Kapilavastu, was just to give a performance, to show people how to practice, how to get enlightened, how to get rid of the defilements. Actually, he just gave this show. He designed this whole show, and he just came here to perform this show, to appear to be ordinary being, to appear to be something that someone who is normal. So that is the reason why, as Professor mentioned just now, that as a child he was able to walk, right? Just after the birth, he was able to walk 7 steps, and then with one finger pointing to the sky and saying that among all of the beings, I am the supreme. So the reason why he was able to speak suddenly after his birth, and the reason why he was able to walk soon after he was born. So this is the reason, because after all, he's just going to give us a show. And probably in the very beginning of his childhood, he will show this. He will show that this is going to be a show. But later he got fully participated in the show and pretend that he's just ordinary. But according to some of the scholars, or according to some people, this story of he's pointing to the sky and saying that I am supreme among all of the beings, probably this was added later by Mahayana practitioners or followers. This probably was not true, but I don't think this is really important. What I want to say is that this logic behind that. So the logic was that when he was in Tusita heaven, he was no more ordinary at all. He was already advanced, very advanced bodhisattva, already Arya. So this is the reason why he was able to walk, talk after birth. All right, so this is the one point talking about Buddha's his nature before his birth, and then I'm going to just mention a little bit about Buddha's qualities. Nature, I guess nature here means qualities. So I'd like to talk a little bit about Buddha's qualities. One is wisdom, the other is compassion. So wisdom, there are 3 levels of wisdom. So first one is the ability to clear off or eradicate all of the ignorance of cognition, which means he will be totally clear about what the truth is. Ontologically, he is able to understand how the whole world is running, and the whole mechanism of the samsara, and the whole mechanism of the human mentality, everything. So this is one thing, one part. And this part, I think that Sotapanna, in Theravada, Sotapanna also is able to eradicate at the level of Sotapanna. So this part is this one part of the wisdom. The other part of the wisdom is the ignorance. Is that he is able to eradicate the ignorance of emotion, which means he is totally free of all kinds of defilements, just like the Arhat. Because an Arhat is free from all kinds of defilements that will make a person suffer, right? So this is the second part of wisdom. The third part of the wisdom, I don't think that it is mentioned in Theravada. That is the ignorance of ability or skills or knowledge of particular subjects. So there is a very interesting question that has been asked by people, is that suppose Buddha is talking to someone, or maybe I can put it in this way. Can Buddha speak English or something like that? Can Buddha do some like a kind of for example, can Buddha make a computer, something like that? So in Mahayana's point of view, yes, he can, because he's omniscient. But I don't think this is something that an Arhat can do. If Arhat needs to do something, I think he should learn, right? He should learn this skill. He should learn this ability. From the perspective of Mahayana, a bodhisattva is someone that needs to learn all of the skills, and a Buddha, a fully enlightened Buddha, that means the Anuttara Samya Sambuddha, he is able to do all of the things in the whole universe. So typical, let me put it in this way. So in Mahayana's perspective, the Buddha is free of any kinds of doubts, is free of any kinds of defilement, and is able to do all kinds of things. So simply put it in this way: omniscient, omnipresent, omnipotent. something like this. It's quite similar to the Christian idea of God, but it's different because in Mahayana we have another system that is the three bodies. That is Sambhogaya, Nirmanayagaya, and another one, Dhammagaya. So we have the three bodies that can explain why Gautama Buddha appeared to be a human person that appeared to be very ordinary because he just took the form. He just manifested as a ordinary human person, only to show that he's free from defilement and he's free from doubts. So his capacity was somehow limited, deliberately limited, because of his human body, that is Nirmanagaya. So that is the reason. But in terms of Dhamagaya, he's omnipresent because everything is Sunnata and the Dhamagaya is Sunnata. Anyway, that is another topic. So so much for the wisdom part. This is the quality. One is wisdom. The other is compassion. Compassion is the quality that enables the Buddha to be able to help other beings to get enlightened, basically from his teaching, but sometimes with the help of the super abnormal powers. So in order to have compassion, he needed to cultivate a lot of merits, as I mentioned just now. That was the reason why he chose to be reborn in the royal family, because as a royal family member, he was able to establish a vaster range of interpersonal relationships, so that he was able to preach his Dharma, share his knowledge to more people. So objectively speaking, I mean, probably he didn't intend to do so, but somehow his preaching Dharma needs to be carried out with the help of the wider range of interpersonal relationship. So that is the reason he also has the quality of a compassion. So in Mahayana point's view, an arhat does not necessarily have to possess this quality of compassion. This compassion mainly serves as an antidote to anger, to dosa. So it does not serve the purpose of preaching Dharma or help people deliberately. No such function. But in Mahayana, this is very important, compassion, not only as an antidote to anger, to dosa, but also as a very important tool to help other people to get enlightened. Why? Because in order to become a Buddha, you need two qualities. One is wisdom, the other is compassion. I think so much for my sharing on the qualities or the nature of the Buddha. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bhante, Venerable Huaishin. We have learned many things. Really appreciate, and we are very grateful for your passion and sharing knowledge. But I have many questions. But later, after all speaker finishing
Okay.
Speech, we will have question and answer program, and the program at the time I will ask some question to you. So next we have guest speaker. He is also my friend from Vajrayana School Perspective, Venerable Phukpa Dorji. Venerable, you are welcome to speak out. Yeah. Yes. Sure.
Good morning, everyone. So my name is Purba Doji, and I am from Bhutan. And first of all, I would like to thank you for IVSC and its director, lecturer, and its staffs all invite me to speak the qualities or the Buddha's nature to share what the Vajayanas emphasizing on that things. Actually, so my friend, the professors and the Dr. Hoichins, they mentioned a lot of the Buddha's life, the Buddha's nature or Buddha's life. But the topic is the Buddha's nature, no? So I don't that much spend time on that Buddha's nature. So now here what I'm going to say is, according to the Vajrayanas Tantra or Mantra, first of all, we would like to think there are two kinds of the Buddha's nature. In Pali words, we can say Sammuti Satya or Paramata Satya. So what the professors and the doctors mentions is the Buddha's nature of commissional truth. The Buddha's natures of the commissional truth. But now I'm going to explain the Buddha's nature of the commissional truth later. But first of all, I would like to explain the Buddha's nature, which is based on ultimate truth. That means, so now I'm going to talk the real nature of the Buddha rather than the Buddha's lives. Of course, first, if we don't know the ultimate kind of the Buddha's nature, there is no way to explain how the Buddha born, how the Buddha give Dhamma teach, how the Buddhas get paranirvana. That is the reason. So now I'm going to share my screen. I have some slides to share you all. I no need to mention about it. So now this one. Where should I keep this? It's okay, no? So here, first of all, I would like to say the Buddha's nature or Buddha nature. This is very important. First, if you would like to know the Buddha, first we have to know the Buddha's nature, definition. If you don't understand the definition, then there is no way to understand the Buddha itself. That is the reason. So the many of the Nalinda's scholars says definition is very important if you would like to introduce something to other. Because if we don't know the definition, we don't know that things, what you are really want to say, or know. So here the definition of the Buddha nature is, I just a quotation from Guya Samaja, this Tantra, which the Buddha mentioned. According to the Vajrayana tradition, we have three Dhammachakra. First Dhammachakra is based on Theravada tradition. Second Dhammachakra is based on Mahayana tradition. Third Dhammachakra is based on Vajrayana tradition. When the Buddha was 79 years old, Buddha went to the South India, Orissa, and then teach there a lot of the Tantra or Mantra, including Kala Chakra. So here, I would like to mention about the Tantra, which is called the Gui Samajamu Sangdu. It is empty of all substances and detached from dualistic discriminations such as aggregates, elements, and sense faculties. It is selfless, and even this mind is unborn from the beginning because it is empty by its innate nature. What I am going to explain this is, according to the Vajrayana tradition, we believe this samsara is the land of enlightenment. All of the sentient beings as a Buddha or Bodhisattva or Bodhisattva or Arahant or Arhat, like this. And then all words or speech, what we heard is the Buddha Dharma. What we think is all of the Buddha's nature, Buddha's wisdom. That is the reason I would like to explain this before. After that, then I will share the life of the Buddhas. It means the Buddha is, according to the Vajrayana tradition, the nature or qualities or characteristics of Buddha is nature of our mind itself. We cannot find out the Buddha without ourselves, our mind. That is the reason if you really would like to see the Buddha, you must focusing on observe on your mind. If you can observe a lot, we can step to step by the Buddha. When we are finishing, completing the observation, then you can see. That is the reason. So according to the Vajrayana tradition, there are 13 bhumis, 5 paths, 5 marga, and 13 bhumis. Not 10. 10 is according to the Mahayana traditions, and then 8 bhumis according to Shavakayanas and traditions. But I don't know, so Theravada believe 8 bhumi or not, but so Shavakayanas, they believe that 8 bhumis. And the second one, so this also a quotation from the Guhechinta Tantara, Ola Tantara, By abandoning the eternalism and nihilism arising in cessation and such other extreme views, the mind achieves transcending awareness, which from the beginning has been detached from any dualistic distortions. That means only focusing on our nature. Buddha should be like this. When we see the Shakyamuni Buddha is the Buddha. But Buddha is not Shakyamuni Buddha, and Shakyamuni Buddha also not Buddha. You have to be detached from each other, If you feel Shakyamuni Buddha is Buddha, then so there is a lot of, contradictions arising. So this is the third one. The nature of the mind as the element of the space does not causes or conditions, nor does it a gathering of these. It has neither rising cessation nor abiding. This clear and luminous nature of the mind is as changeless as space. It is not afflicted by desire and so on. That means defilements. The adventitious stands which are sprung from incorrect thoughts. That means, so you thought like that, Actually, our nature of the mind is a Buddha, but we have a lot of defilement. It's make us not a Buddha. Therefore, the Buddha nature is unity of cognitions, luminous and emptiness. So here I would like to emphasize on this. The nature of the Buddha, the nature of the Buddha is unity of cognition first. Cognition is function of mind. Function of mind itself is luminous. Luminous itself is emptiness. If you can unite these all three together, and then at that time you are Buddha. So now we cannot do this because we are, detached these three as differences. Cognition, luminous, emptiness, So actually, cognition itself, luminous itself, emptiness. So here, now, all the sentient beings have Buddha nature. The essence of that, so this is from the Disa Sutta, Meditative Observation Sutta. The essence of the well-gone one means Devara Shakpa, this name, synonym of the Buddha. Devara Shakpa, it's translated in English, well-gone one, pervades all migrators. That means all sentient beings, travelers, seems no. We as a sentient being as a traveler, from past life to this to next. That is called traveler. All the Buddha's nature pervades all of the sentient beings. And second one, all sentient beings have the essence of the those gone one. Those gone one also the Buddha's name, Tejin Shakpa. Tejin Shakpa. First one is Devara Shakpa, second one is Tejin Shakpa. Those gone one. Short Paranirvana Sutta. So you have a great Paranirvana Sutta, short Paranirvana Sutta. So now reason why sentient being as the Buddha have the Buddha nature here. Because first one, all sentient beings are pervaded by the emptiness of Dhammakaya. First reason. Second reason, because there are no differentiations in the nature of suchness. Second reason. Third reason, because of all beings have a family of Buddha. So now explanation of the reasons one by one. To explain the first reason, why all sentient beings has a Buddha? Why all sentient beings is Buddha? Have a Buddha or as a Buddha? Here, all sentient beings are pervaded by the emptiness of Dhammakaya. So there's three kinds of Dharma, a Buddha, Nirmanakaya, Sambhogakaya, Dhammakaya. Means that the ultimate Buddhahood is a Dhammakaya. Actually, the qualities, the nature, the characteristics of Buddha itself is the Buddhahood. It is Dhammakaya. Dhammakaya is all-pervading emptiness, and all emptiness all pervades all sentient beings. Therefore, all sentient beings are of the Buddha nature. So we have to think this. If we cannot find we as emptiness, our mind is a luminous, cognitions, emptiness, united of like this, then we are no Buddha. To explain the second reason, there are no differentiations in the nature of suchness, means that the suchness of the Buddhas is identical of the suchness of sentient beings. None is better or worse. None is bigger or smaller. None is higher or lower. So because of that, all sentient beings are of the Buddha nature. So this definition is based on the ultimate truth rather than conventional truth. Now, third reasons, all beings have a family means that all sentient beings can be categorized into the five family of the Buddha. That means if we have a not family, not seed, how can we become a Buddha? According to Theravada tradition also like this, if you have a not Arahanthood, how can I become an Arahant? So these things cannot be Arahant because these things has a not Arahanthood. This thing has a not Arahant's nature. That is the reason. Therefore, all sentient beings have the Buddha nature. So this is what I would like to inform you first. So now my point of view is, so this is based on the ultimate conventional truth. So now a conventional truth, Sammatisacca, according to Buddha already get that ultimate, the Buddha's nature of the ultimate truth, when he achieved the 13th Bhumi, Kunto Yukisa, 13th Bhumi. If I cannot get a 13 Bhumi, this a level, first, second, third, fourth, fifth level like this, you have five parts, no? Same as like this. 13 Bhumi. If you cannot achieve the 13 Bhumi, we cannot become a Buddha. We cannot perform the Shakyamuni Buddha as a Nirmanakaya Buddha. And then the Shakyamuni Buddha cannot walk, cannot talk, cannot become a Buddha, even though he born into the human being, So first the Buddha already achieved the 13 Bhumi, and then he become a Dhammakaya Buddha. Now if we stay only in Dhammakaya Buddha, that means that noble being is not a Buddha. Buddha means Buddha have to come to this samsara for help to others. if I become, once I achieve Dhammakaya, if I stay in Dhammakaya alone by myself, isolated like this, and then I'm not anymore Buddha because I am a selflessness. Selfish, selfish, no. There is no Buddha as a selfish person, Buddha has to become and born in this samsara because that is the reason, because of compassion, because of a lot of merit, Buddha, once you become achieve the Dhammakaya Buddha, after that, then we can manifest it as a Sambhogakaya or Nimanakaya. Sambhogakaya means this Buddha is only for the Arahant persons. We cannot see the Sambhogakaya Buddha because we cannot attain the 10 bhumi or 13 bhumi. Once we can enter the first bhumi, first level, no. Until first to seventh bhumi, we have no chance to see the Sambhogakaya Buddha. If we can enter the 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 bhumi, then we have a chance to see the Dhammakaya Buddha, Sambhogakaya Buddha as well. Last one is a Nirmanakaya Buddha, Nirmanakaya Buddha. We can see this. All ordinary beings, all sentient beings can see the Nirmanakaya Buddha as a Shakyamuni Buddha, We believe the Shakyamuni Buddha is Nirmanakaya Buddha. Shakyamuni Buddha. But actually Shakyamuni Buddha is a person, noble. We can't say this Shakyamuni Buddha is a Buddha according to ultimate truth. We can say in a commissional truth there is a Buddha, but not in there. So now, when the Shakyamuni Buddha achieved the Dhammakaya, after that he become a Nirmanakaya. When he become a Nirmanakaya, he has 12 kinds of supreme emanational bodies, 12 kinds, according to the Mahayana tradition or Vajrayana tradition. Shakyamuni Buddha first, he is staying in Tusita, and then he entered the womb of the Mahamaya, and then he born, and then he studying arts like this, and after that he abandoned the world, and then he practicing the dharmas, at that time. After that he went to the Bodhi tree. After that he enlightened the enlightenment. After that he can overcome the demons or ghosts. So there are four kinds of ghosts or demons, So he overcome this. After that, he went to the Varanasi to speak the Dharma. After that, so he went anywhere to teach the Dharma. And then lastly, he got a Paranibbana. That means he has 12 kinds of supreme emanational bodies. This is the quality, this is the life of this 12 kind of supreme emanation body belongs to the Nirmanakaya Buddha, Shakyamuni Buddha, rather than Sambhogakaya or Dhammakaya. So I think so. I talk much, So in my concluding, so there are three kinds of Buddha: Dhammakaya, Sambhogakaya, Nirmanakaya. So now, when we talk about the Buddha's life story, it belongs to the commissional truth, commissional level, rather than ultimate truth, Paramatha Satya. According to Paramatha Satya, you can't explain like this. Thank you. If you have some questions, and then so. Yeah, you can.
Thank you very much, my friend, Venerable Phukpa. I also was very clear in the Buddha nature and the normal person. So I also hope everyone appreciate our speakers. They are very perfect presentation. So next, we have the question and answer section. In this section, first of all, I want to ask, we will not take break time because our time is very limited That is why. First of all, I'm as a moderator, I want to ask Venerable Huaixin because his speech was very interesting. Everyone was interesting, but I got something like a complicated. That is why. So first of all, let me ask you said about the Sudita Bhumi. The Buddha, he was in Sudita Bhumi before was born in royal family. So do you believe the Sudita Bhumi and the Pure Land is the same, Venerable?
Sorry, please say your question again.
Yes. Yes. Do you believe the Sudita Bhumi, Sudita heaven wall and Pure Land is same or not?
Well, in Mahayana, in Mahayana tradition, especially Chinese Buddhism, we have this Pure Land concepts, but this concept is we need to see it from two perspectives. One is the broad sense, the other is narrow sense. Okay,
Yes.
so from broad sense perspective, then we say that all of the lands that Sambhogaya or enjoyment body lives can be called the pure lands. So there are many, many, many pure lands in the whole universe, world systems. So in each of the world system, there is a pure land because there is one Buddha. One world system, there will be one Buddha. So this is Mahayana perspective. So in this world system, we call it Saha world system. So in this world system, the pure land, where I think the pure land is Tusita heaven, because the future Buddha is living there. That is the Maitreya Buddha, right? In
Yes.
Pali is Maitreya, right?
Yeah, yes.
So we call him future Buddha. So because this future Buddha is living in Tusita heaven, so we can call that the Tusita heaven is the pure land for the Saha world. But in the narrow perspective, in the narrow sense of a pure land, we typically refer to the pure land that Amitabha Buddha is living. That is the Amitabha's Western Pure Land, West Pure Land. So when if we do not have a context and we are talking about Pure Land, normally we refer to the Pure Land that Amitabha Buddha is residing. So that is my answer.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, I appreciate it and clear. Before I was a little bit complicated, like the normal person and the Buddha's nature, Bodhisattva. But after explaining my friend Popadoji, I was clear. So we can understand every person cannot fulfill all these perfect qualities because you also explained it. To become a Buddha or to get the Buddha's nature, we have to, acquire a lot of merits. So it is not easy. So after explanation of him, I was very clear. Thank you very much. So we want the question. Oh yes. Yes. Yeah.
First of all, I would like to make you understand that the Buddha nature is not found in a Theravada tradition. This word used in Mahayana and Vajrayana. The Buddha in Theravada tradition, there is a word, Buddha Dhatu. Buddha Dhatu, okay, Buddha Dhatu. And then someone said, like the nature of the Buddha. Okay, I accept. However, just now, Pante Daji mentioned the Buddha nature, not person, but about the mental, about the mind. Okay, if he said like that, I accept. Because according to Theravada tradition, you know, we mention citta, cetasika. Citta, to know, but cetasika mean the mental formation or mental activities. To pass, to pass of mental information, wholesome or kusala, unwholesome or kusala. Okay, and then Buddha nature. Okay, when you, I conclude from you, from what you said, does mean wholesome, mental wholesome state of mind. Cover what? Yeah. But in Theravada Buddhism, okay, no, this word can be found. But when we mention mind and mental formation, and then divine and wholesome and unwholesome, we can find the meaning to connect, how to connect the Buddha nature with the mental formation. You see, I recollect in the word of King Nakasena monk and King พระเจ้าอเล็กซานเดอร์ no พระเจ้าเปรตที่โกศลกับพญามิลินโอเคมิลินthe king conversation between Milan the king and Nakasena monk. Milan the king asked Nakasena, Pante, did you see the Buddha? No. Your teacher see? No. Do you know him? I never saw the Buddha. I did not see the Buddha, but I am wearing the Buddha clothes. The Buddha clothes. King Milinda asked him, "Oh, what the Buddha clothes? Where are these?" Milinda Nakasena pointed to him. Where? I clothes the Buddha I wear now. Chattaro Satipatthana, 4 foundation of mindfulness. 4 great efforts. 4 at the path to achievement. Itibasi. 5 faculties. 5 pala. Sattha, Viriya, Samadhi, Panya. And then 37 enlightenment factors. Okay. Okay. 7 enlightenment factors. 7 enlightenment factors. Sati, Dhammavicaya, Viriya, Piti. Okay. And then 8-fold path. Included 37 enlightenment factors. These are the clothes of the Buddha. Where? Oh, not called the Buddha. I wear. I think if you compare, you should compare this to the Buddha nature. Because all of these are called Potipakkhya Dhamma. 37 Potipakayatama. Potipakayatama means enlightenment supporting factors. Okay. Okay, thank you, Bhante. Don't oppose you. Don't oppose
Yes.
anyone, but I share idea, share Dhamma from Theravada tradition. Okay, because
Thank you very much, Professor. I think mostly now we have three schools perspective. Basically, I think all are same, basically. But sometimes we analyze as an analytical study, something there, we find the differences, but there, I think because of culture, maybe, uh, because I understood that when people, they live different region, according to their region, some of the culture comes out differently, but mainly, like the basic Four Noble Truth, Eight Full Noble Path, these all are the same. Now our professor Benjob also explained it, like the Bodhibhakya Dharma, then the 7 factors of enlightenment, and then 37 the factors of supporting enlightenment Dharma. So this is to get enlightenment, to become enlightenment one. The enlightenment one is supreme enlightenment one. So I think basically I understand the same, but now I'm very appreciate and very happy, to be with you here and listening, getting many of knowledge. So we want to get some question from our audience, our students. Please ask some question. Yeah, who want to ask? Yes, microphone. Yes, yeah, I remark as well. Yeah, your comments or your question. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Bhante, and all the Ajahns. Thank you. I have 2 questions. Maybe I'll start with the first one. Hearing Venerable Hui Shen, okay. I think I'm trying to draw parallel between, the 2 traditions. I think you mentioned about wisdom, first being freed of doubts, freedom from defilement, and you mentioned a third one, which is omnipresent and omnipotent. And so I was trying to understand, for this part of wisdom, is that similar to what Venerable Dorji has been saying about the 3 Gayas?
Yes, Dhamma-gaya.
Yeah.
Dhamma-gaya and Sambhogaya.
So it's the same thing, is it? Or
Yes,
it's similar?
same thing.
Okay.
Yeah,
so,
actually, I want to share something additional. That is, actually, Mahayana and Vajrayana, we share the same doctrine. We share exactly the same doctrine. The only difference is that we also practice in the same way, but Vajrayana has something more, more like interesting techniques and maybe faster techniques than ordinary Mahayana. So that is the only difference.
Okay. Thank you. So that's why you said it is omnipresent. But I think Venerable Dorji also mentioned about Samokaya and Nibbanakaya, which means that this is something else.
Okay, so let me explain it a little bit more. All right. So the Dhamma-gaya is 3 Gayas. One is Dhamma-gaya. Dhamma-gaya is actually the mind, the pure mind, is the ultimate mind that we all have that can enable everyone to become the Buddha. So this is the Dhamma-gaya. It's not a specific person. Okay, it is not a specific person. It is in everyone's mind. Or you can say it is everyone's mind. All right, so this is Dhamma-gaya. So that is the reason it's omnipresent, because it's everywhere. all right? Because the whole thing, the whole world and everything arises from this mind. So this is the Dhammakaya. So that is the reason why it is omnipresent and omniscient and omnipotent as well. And the Sambhogaya is an entity that is advanced. You can think it as advanced sentient being, an advanced sentient being, like Amitabha Buddha in the Pure Land. It does not belong to this world system. It's another world system. So we believe, in Mahayana, we believe that Amitabha Buddha is a Sambhogaya, that it has shape, it has, he's very tall, very, very tall, and he's sending off golden light. And so you can consider him as sorry for a moment. So continue. So that is the Sambhogaya. So you can consider Sambhogaya as an advanced sentient being. And then Nirmanagaya is someone just like Gautama Buddha, is just like a person. But the Dhammagaya exists in these three Gayas, Dhammagaya, Sambhogaya, Nirmanagaya. So all of these bodies, they all have this Dhammagaya as the fundamental mind. All right. I'm not sure if you are clear about this.
Thank you very much. It is clearer. So I'm not sure whether Venerable Dorji, because this term came from you, is there anything you want to enlighten us on? Clarify, yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Before that, I would like to say something, So when we talk about the Buddha or Buddha's nature, or any kind of the Buddha's qualities, so first we have to think, we have to make sure which level we are going to ask, which level we are going to discuss. These are very important things. If we have another level step, then so we cannot talk what we want to talk, because there is no point to explain. Someone say this way, someone say this way, someone say this way. But so now, so when we talk about the Buddha's qualities, so as I mentioned before, so there are two kinds of level: a commissioner level, ultimate level, Sammoti-Satcha level, Paramata-Satcha level. So when we talk about the three Dhammakaya, it means you are saying in general way, Dhammakaya, Sambhogaya, Nirmanakaya. It is quite same as, so the Dr. Hoichins explained now. Dhammakaya, Sambhogaya, and Nirmanakaya. It seems, it looks the same. But when we look into the Tantra or Mantra, you can find some special things. What does it mean, Dhammakaya? What does it mean, the Sambhogaya? What does it mean, the Nirmanakaya? Because our concepts or our point of view is the differences, Because when we talk about the Buddha's Dharma of the Vajrayana traditions, as I mentioned before, first we have to make this samsara as a land of enlightenment, nirvana. All sentient beings, as I mentioned, the Buddhahood has a Buddha's nature, and then all hearing has a Buddha's dharma, all what we think, what we thought as the wisdom of the Buddhas. That means if we have like this, we can say we are Nirmanakaya Buddha. Even though our body is an ordinary body, like a full of any other miserable things, but our nature of our mind is already become a Buddha. As we can say, you are Buddha. We don't need to go to a Bodh Gaya to enlighten the Buddha. You can, if we have a power, you can enter the enlightenment, achieve the enlightenment just now here. As here and now you can make it. If I can do like this, I am Nirmanakaya Buddha. But for inside of my Nirmanakaya Buddha, there are two kinds of the Buddha. So this also quite now in narrow senses. You have to be observe deeply. We have two kinds of things. When we are seeing, example, when we are seeing the enlightenment or emptiness, our wisdom and emptiness. Emptiness is objective. Wisdom is subjective. Subject. Wisdom can see the emptiness. That time, aspect of wisdom, as we can call, we are as a Sambhogakaya Buddha. But objective of this wisdom, that is the Dhammakaya. But in ultimate truth, we cannot detach. We cannot make that is separate. That is mean we have to say unity, inseparable. But we need to explain through a separate way. That means wisdom inside of Nirmanakaya, according aspect of the wisdom, you can call it is a Sambhogakaya Buddha. But object of this wisdom, you can call this a Dharmakaya Buddha. That means now we can observe, as I mentioned before, our mind. Our mind, this is very important. As Shantideva says, if we don't understand our mind, it doesn't matter what you are going to do, what you are doing. You are doing, as in other many a lot of kinds of the meditations. Of course, you can do it. It can make sense for us. Shila Samadhi Panya. Of course, you have a Shila Samadhi Panya, but we can't understand our nature of mind. There is no way to free from samsara, because free from samsara means our mind. We have to free our mind from samsara rather than our body and speech. We become a Buddhahood means our mind become a Buddhahood. We cannot become our body as a Buddha, That means according to ultimate level. So lastly, as I mentioned before, if I can understand, if I can see the nature of my mind very clearly, I am as a Nirmanakaya Buddha. Because of this nature, this wisdom, this is called Sambhogakaya Buddha. And then object of this wisdom, that is called Dhammakaya Buddha. And lastly, these three are unities. Unifications. You cannot separate it different way. Thank you. So I think so. I can.
Thank you very much. Yes, it's not totally clear. That's why I guess I have to continue to learn. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Venerable, my friend Phukbadoji. You with very great passion you explained it. Next also we will have like these kinds of discussion, so we can learn more, right? Because now we have the limited time, so we want to get other questions from our student. Yeah, you also can give some comments.
First of all, thank you for all of the guest speakers. So I would like to know about some kind of the perspective of the Mahayana point of view. I'm not clear. And also I'm from Myanmar, and we only focus on the teaching about the Theravada point of view. And then that is why I came here to understand and learning about the other Mahayana point of view and then the Vajrayana point of view. So I'm a very beginner of the Mahayana and Vajrayana. So my question is, I'm not clear about Mahayana point of view. He mentioned about the Venerable. He mentioned about some of the, how to say, like the Buddhahood life is a very important, and also he the Buddha, he just came from the Tusita heaven, but he mentioned about the already, how to say, like already enlightened is like a arhat, and then just came to the human realm, and then it's not very, but how to say, like we need to do about a lot of merit and also the confession, but also for the, how to say, like a mental transformation and the wisdom. So I'm not clear. Also the parameter for the parameter fulfill the perfections in that kind on the human realm. So he's already about how to say, God attaining the arhat from the Tusita. Yes.
Yes, I think this question, yeah, Dr.
Yeah.
Yeah. Question, yeah. Welcome.
First of all, we need to clarify that there are two paths to go. One is Savagayana. The other is Bodhisattvayana. All right, two yanas. So one is Sotabana, Sakadagami, Anagami, and Arhat. This is Savagayana. That means take this vehicle to become Arhat. That means get rid of all of the defilements. That's it. All right. So this is one yana. The other vehicle, the other path is Bodhisattva path. That is first bhumi, second bhumi, third bhumi, blah blah bhumi, and then eventually 8th bhumi or 10th bhumi. That depends on different traditions and schools. But according to Yogacara school, which is conscious only, according to one of the Mahayana schools, there are 10 bhumis. Okay, so first bhumi, second bhumi, and until the 10th bhumi. What I said was that in the Tusita heaven, the Buddha, the Bodhisattva, all right, not the Buddha yet. So the Bodhisattva already attained the 10th bhumi Bodhisattva. So 10th bhumi Bodhisattva cannot be compared, all right? These two yanas cannot be compared. However, still there are some similarities. For example, this 10th bhumi Bodhisattva is very advanced, that he has already got rid of all of the defilements, and he has already obtained a lot of capacities, compassions, and paramitas and everything. So he's almost perfect. So the next step is to get reborn in the human world in the Nirmana Gaya. That is the Buddha in a person's human form. So this is the last step he needs to do. That is to become the Buddha. So this is the one thing I need to clarify. Another thing is that the paramitas. So actually in Theravada, you also mentioned about paramita. You mentioned you talk about 10 paramitas, right? So in Mahayana, it's almost the same. We just combine some of them paramitas together, and then we have 6 paramitas. So I think the main difference is compassion, is karuna. And we do not talk about the ordinary karuna. We talk about mahakaruna, which is karuna based on emptiness, karuna based on sunnata. So that means the karuna or compassion based on the wisdom is not ordinary. Okay, I'm a good person, so this I'm helping you. So this is compassion. Yes, it is compassion, but it's not essentially the compassion Mahayana talks about. Mahayana talks about the compassion in a way that is based on the sunyata, based on the essence of the all phenomena.
Yeah.
All right. So So that is all of the paramitas a bodhisattva needs to cultivate are almost like similar to Theravada talks about.
Yes.
But one more thing I need to mention is that according to hearsay, all right, according to some accounts from Theravada monks and bhikkhuni, I don't want to mention the names, but they told me that some of the Theravada practitioners, when they practice to a certain level, there will be two roads in front of them. For some, they don't have two roads. They just take one road. They say that, okay, I'm going to be Arhat. Okay, so some of them say, okay, I have two roads to choose, so I will choose this way or this way. And some of them say, okay, I'm just going to become a bodhisattva. Even in Theravada tradition, there will be some practitioners reporting some kind of experiences like this. So according to these accounts and according to Mahayana's accounts, traditional scriptural accounts, I can conclude that it does not really depend on our will. Yet maybe it will depend on our will, but it's not essential. I mean, what is essential is it depends on the karma. It depends on all of the past experiences, the karmas and the vows and everything together. And that will determine which path you will take. So from a perspective of Mahayana, we never claim that the Savaka path is lower, to be Arhat is lower or something like that. I don't think this is the authentic teaching in Mahayana. What we consider is that this really depends on the seeds, really depends on the karma. So this is something I need to clarify. So I don't think that someone who claims himself to be Bodhisattva is superior to those who claim themselves to be Arhats. For example, yesterday I claimed that, I took the vow that, I really want to get all of the sufferings. I really want to become an Arhat. But today I thought about it. I think that is just a win. So later I found that it's better to go to the Pure Land. So, so this is what I mean is that this is not really according to our conceptual mind. All right.
Yes, thank you. So for that, one by one, right? Our professor also explained about that. Yeah, just for 2 minutes. We have just only 15 minutes remain.
Okay, I appreciate your explanation and Bhante explanation. However, I would like you to return to the history of Buddhism. Okay, because the history of Buddhism can make it clear about the taking place of three bodies. In three body. Okay. Because according to the Theravada tradition, starting from the first Sankirti, no mention of three body. No mention. There is no mention of three body. Okay, I later 900 years later, I found the Dhammakaya in the Visuddhimagga by Buddhaghosa. But there, the Buddhaghosa gave the meaning of Dhammakaya, means the Dhammakaya, the heap, the Dhammakaya, and the collection of the Dhamma. The body of Dhamma doesn't mean the collection of Dhamma. Like a Maksi, Makayansi, Makayana, 4 Makayana, 4 Palayana, and 1 Nibbana. We call Lokuttara, the 9 Lokuttara Dhamma. That is the Dhammakaya in the view of Buddhaghosa. And then I asked question many times, how three body happen? Happen when? Okay, according to Buddhist history, three body happen at the time of about nearly 1,000 after the Buddha passed away. Why happened? Because for the safety of Buddhism, for protection of Buddhism. Does mean the Mahayana try to protect Buddhism from many loss in India. Okay, so I would like you to return to the Trimurti. Trimurti, okay, three body in Hindu. The Brahma, Isvara, and then Narayana, Vishnu, okay, Trimurti. Trimurti in one. In one. This may be possible to the way to three bodies in Buddhism. Okay.
Yeah, thank you, my friend. Yeah, you're welcome. Just for 3 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, first of all, so actually for me also, so I don't like to criticize, so I don't like to do something, because I would like to share what I learned from my, the Vajrayanas Tantra or mantra. That is the reason I have to say something, but it may going some, some other way. So please, I'm sorry for this. So first of all, I would like to talk about the 10 parameters. Of course, when I was in Pishabun, and then you have to chant end of our meditations, dharana parameter like this. At that time, so I found that there's 10 parameter. I feel myself as a shock, because I never had such kind of things. That is the reason I came here. So when I look this dharana parameter, that 10 parameters, and then I found there is a metta, karuna, or any other things, But this is quite a different from the Vajrayanas or Mahayana perspective. Of course, the Vajrayana or Mahayana also believe there are 10 parameters, but this 10 parameter is quite a difference. So first, I would like to inform these things, and then second, so yeah, when we look about the history of the Buddhism, so I have a lot of questions at these things, but today I have not that much time. So in my conclusion, so now I'm going to conclusion. So according to the Vajrayana traditions, as I mentioned before, there are 3 kinds of Dhammachakras. First, the Buddha mentioned in the Varanasi. Second, there Bihar, So there is one larger peaks, a mountain. I can find this name, this place of name in the Theravadas in scripture also. And then third one is when the Buddha was 79 years old, the Buddha went to South India, So still there are places. In that time, the Buddha mentioned the Tantra and Mantra. Tantra and Mantra is same quite similar to the Hindus term, Even though we can find the Vipassana, Shamatha, Sutta, Mantra, all kind of these terms in Hindus tradition, because I studied in the Varanasi for 4 years in Hindu culture. That is the reason I found some quite a similar words in there too also. But in meaning of their meaning, so this is totally differences, And then there is a 3 Dhammachakra. Because of 3 Dhammachakra, there is a 3 history of Dhammachakra. But nowadays, what we heard the Buddhism's history of Buddhism, early Buddhism makes this is I think this name is given by Western professors. Early Buddhism. If there is early Buddhism, then that means there is a new Buddhisms. If you can make like this, and then it can be a discrimination between the Buddhisms. So what we learn, what we heard, the Buddhist history is based on the first Dhammachakra. Of course, first Dhammachakra I can believe everything. And then second Dhammachakra, this second Dhammachakra has also a specific history of second Dhammachakra. As well, in third Dhammachakra has also a specific history of Dhammachakra. So now, in this 21st century, if we would like to become a Buddhist professor, a professor, you must have to be learn 3 schools. If you cannot understand even one, we can understand 2 schools, Mahayana, Theravada, or Vajrayana. If you cannot understand in one, and then we can't say in a perfect way, no. Even though I am saying the 4 Noble Truths, there is a many audience which is from Theravada, Mahayana, Vajrayana tradition. If I am only talking about Theravada side, and then the Mahayana or Vajrayana side, they never accept me, no. So if I am going to talk about the concept of the 4 Noble Truths according to 3 schools, then it makes sense. It can be helped the Buddhism. If you can help the Buddhism, and then it can be, the good for world. That is the reason. So in my concluding, please learn all of the 3 schools, and then we have to analyze this by ourselves, which one is which, and then we have to apply at the end of study. Then we make sense by ourselves. Then you can say you are Buddhist practitioner, you are follower of the Buddhism. Except that you can't say. Thank you.
Thank you very much, my friend Phukpa Doji. Really interesting, very perfect. So in Zoom application, any question do we have? We can take 5 minutes. In Zoom application, anyone, do you have any question? Okay, so we are going to finish our today's program. Now we have analyzed many things. So what I understand in finally, we are believe in religion. So, but our belief shouldn't be blind faith. We have to analyze. We have to categorize, or anything we have to do, and we have to get solution. We have to do any research. So, one of the great Buddha's teaching, 4 Noble Truths, that is like a methodology. We have to do research. What is the cause? What is the reason? And how we can get the solution? That to find the solution, we need some of the method. So by this way, if we analyzed, my friend Phukpa Doji also said, we have to understand and we have to learn 4 schools. Today we invited very good speakers from 3 schools, 3 perspectives. We learn from this 3 perspective. We learn and we analyzed and we get the reality. That is the important. As we get our solution reality, we practice it. But getting knowledge and understanding something, this is not yet perfect. Why? We have to practice ourselves to achieve our final goal. But yes, of course, we have to as well get decision or solution decide, right? And we have to practice so we can achieve. So thank you very much. Next time we also do like this discussion, and we will invite you, our student, all of you. You can join. We warmly invite. And in the last, now we are going to finish. In the last, for our conclusion, we want to invite the most venerable Nantakon to give you the conclusion speech. The most venerable, you are welcome.
Okay, now our program come to the end. So first of all, I would like to thank to the speaker. We have 3 speakers right here, starting from John Associate Professor Dr. Bancho Banerjee, Venerable Dr. Hui Shen, and the PhD candidate Phubal Dorji, and also to the moderator, Venerable Aloka, the PhD candidate as well. All right, now I would like to conclude this program. So I'm very appreciate on what the three speakers share the idea on the nature of the Buddhas. Yes, of course, we have different perspective, but the same in destination. Different in perspective, but the same in destination. In terms of destination is ultimate destination or Nibbana or Nirvana. So if compare, is the three schools can compare to the aeroplanes. Everyone imagine two aeroplanes, the aeroplane that carry the passenger to somewhere, right? So the three schools, if you compare, yes, of course, the Mahayana may compare to the body of the aeroplane, right? So the both wings maybe Theravada and Mahayana, or maybe we can change sometimes the Theravada play the role as the body of the aeroplanes, and the both wings maybe the Vajrayana and Mahayana. So these combined together become the complete aeroplanes. So do so compared to Buddhism. So we have three schools right now. Three schools right now combined together become one. Become one here is Buddhism. So Buddhism carries sentient being to the ultimate goals, the Nirvana. Okay, thanks again to the guest speaker right here. Now it's time to your lunch. I know all of you now focus on how many kinds of food right now prepare for you, right? Okay, we have a focus group, right? Focus groups, all right. Yeah, focus group. So how to set up the place? What are we say?